The show revolves around the lives of Adam Driver and Marion Coulter's portrayal of a famous couple. I recommend watching the movie on Amazon Prime right now and then coming around to this video. Breaking news, I'm about to reveal some of the film's hidden meanings and symbolism. Subscribing and liking the video would mean a lot to me if you like watching my content. Thank you so much for your help. Yours faithfully. Anne is a world-renowned soprano and Henry is a racy stand-up comedian. The film follows their careers as accomplished celebrities. It follows them through their ups and downs of having their first child as a married couple. Marion Coulter plays a number of characters, but let's start with her. Grace, or someone who enjoyed the Lord's favor, is symbolized by the name and her hair, and a few of her outfits in the film mostly feature the color red, which is her most prominent feature. In various scenes, her character is linked to blood, which is symbolized by the color red. My guess is that her association with apples is a nod to the story of Adam and Eve. Based on my interpretation, this character represents the biblical aspects of life. Continuing on, we have Adam Driver's Henry, whose main color is green. Henry is a symbol of rulership or the Lord, which explains his strong preference for Anne. A release from servitude is represented by the color green. Additionally, it stands for Henry's greed, a trait that becomes apparent later on in the film. The color yellow also appears frequently in the film. Everything that Henry has complete command over, in my opinion, is symbolized by this. Before he takes the stage to perform his comedy act, we catch a glimpse of this as he munches on a banana. This is further demonstrated by the fact that his stand-up show is titled The Ape of God. For this reason, I take the color yellow to symbolize Henry's association with the most fundamental parts of existence. Anne is clearly wearing it more than once. Henry may interpret this as him viewing her as his property. Throughout the film, we witness his intense fascination with. Since this is their daughter Annette's favorite stuffed animal, the same logic applies to apes. After she is born, Henry sees himself in a similar light. At first glance, they seem like a happily married couple. Once they tie the knot and welcome their daughter Annette into the world, they are showered with media adoration. Upon first glance, Henry notices that his daughter bears a resemblance to a sacred clown, a figure representing the primordial chaos that preceded creation, and the umbilical cord seems to cross over into another biblical allegory. The normal order is also represented by this. Anne thinks it's hilarious that a puppet plays the role of her daughter Annette. But Henry still sees it as a prop that he will be able to manipulate in due time. Later on in the film, this theory becomes even more apparent. At this point in time, the couple and their new baby are doing great. Things begin to change, though, following Anne's. The California wildfires have made him a news story. Since the story is followed by another one about 6 women accusing him of sexual assault, I take this as a sign that hell is breaking loose in the relationship. Despite her internal conflict about whether or not to end her relationship with Henry, the 6 female accusers stand in for the crows, a card that represents death on the horizon. This is demonstrated as she wanders aimlessly through the house, overcome with melancholy. Henry still treats her like a banana to an ape, as evidenced by the fact that she's wearing a yellow towel. When it comes to Henry's character, the color red has a totally different meaning than when it comes to Anne's character, who wears it to represent love and blood. As he prepares to perform stand-up comedy at his next gig, we can see this under the red lights. Henry commands the audience the very first time we see him perform, which is earlier in the film. The world is his oyster. But it appears like he's up against an impossible task in this performance. He manages to make good use of his microphone in his debut performance, using it to entertain the audience. On the other hand, it's considered an annoyance in this show. I don't know if the crowd is complaining that they can't hear him because of the microphone cord or because he has trouble getting enough slack on it. The allegations leveled against him are a major source of anxiety, and this is the first time we observe Henry in a situation where he is not completely in charge. Here we reach a critical juncture. We observe the beginning of Henry's career collapse as he spirals into insanity, his reputation cast into doubt. Even though his shows are still selling well, they are getting cancelled more frequently. The family decides to take a cruise together in the hopes that they can disconnect from their problems and strengthen their bond, while away from land. Not only is this scene extremely important to the plot, but it is also one of the most gorgeously shot scenes in the entire film. As they journey through the storm, I find it quite entertaining how these bizarre ocean waves encircle them. It's so far from being possible. It feels very biblical, like Moses parting the Red Sea, and it perfectly represents the imbalance in their relationship at this point in the movie, with the ocean waves appearing as walls surrounding them. Henry starts an argument with Anne, and she ends up dead because he pushes her off the ship. Even though the ship goes down in the ocean, Henry and his daughter survive. People are wondering what killed Anne. But we can't hold Henry accountable because there isn't enough proof. Though he keeps having visions of Henry's guilt follows him around like a shadow. Another thing we notice is that he's sleeping in a fetal position, which is a symbol of self-defense. He encourages his daughter to showcase her incredible singing voice by giving her a nightlight with rotating stars, which symbolize faith and hope. With the help of his former conductor connections and his daughter's newfound talent, Henry takes advantage of this opportunity to promote Annette. The conductor's yellow cap upon his arrival at the house is a symbol of the situation that Henry intends to control. Even though she suspected Henry of being involved in Anne's death, it is the conductor's love for Annette that motivates him to lend a hand. They go on a world tour after she becomes famous fast. Subsequent to her meeting Henry, the conductor does confess to having an affair. The possibility that Annette is his daughter is also something he discusses. Concerned about the possibility of losing his source of income. As the conductor is being green-lit, Henry decides to kill him by plunging him into the pool. All of Henry's greed is embodied in this. Henry made his killings in the same way. As a metaphor for death or emotional loss, drowning her further emphasizes this point. However, Henry is the one drowning other people, not himself. In my opinion, this exemplifies his callous disregard for their feelings and lives. After that, Henry visits his daughter Annette, who is fully cognizant of his transgressions, on the second floor. As a sign that she no longer has any hope or faith in him, she knocks the nightlight with the spinning stars off the shelf. After one final performance, he assures her he will stop making her sing, but only after she is propped up on a platform and surrounded by admirers. Henry sees her in her yellow gown, which he interprets as a symbol of his authority over the platform. The fact that her pedestal turns from green to yellow while she remains in Henry's care is a metaphor for her continued presence in his world. On the other hand, the platform's colors are beginning to fade if you look closely enough. Red, the color used to light up the arena, is the only one that truly dominates. Annette now reveals her father's guilt as a murderer rather than sing. We can see that Henry is sporting rose-colored spectacles as he stands trial. According to this, Henry is someone who has unrealistically high hopes for the future. Despite its dual meanings, the color red serves as a symbol of both Henry's strength and his weaknesses throughout the film. For this reason, he will be compelled to wear it throughout his incarceration. After hearing about her father's transgressions, Annette pays him a visit. She appears to us in her human form for the very first time. That is what this, in my opinion, stands for. Henry has never seen her in her human form before. He has always thought of her as an object or a puppet. Henry finds herself in possession of Annette's puppet form, along with the 8 puppets she had during her childhood, as she departs. The fact that they have both fallen to the floor up until this point represents the end of the father-daughter relationship. All right. Our video has come to an end. Hopefully, it was enjoyable for all of you. Please let me know in the comments if you think I omitted anything. If you like, comment, or subscribe to the piece, I would greatly appreciate it.